This lesson is on solving equations when you have to use the distributive property. So let's start by just reviewing the distributive property. What this is saying right here is 4 times, this is multiplication, 4 times 3x plus 5. So whenever we distribute, we think multiply. So I am going to require you to draw the arrows to remember multiply. Every time you draw an arrow, I want you to say in your head, multiply. 4 times 3x is 12x. Then we're going to take this 4 and we're going to bring it to this, and you're going to keep the sign with it. You're going to think multiply. 4 times positive 5 is positive 20. And that's how you're going to multiply. Let's try it one more time. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times positive 7x is positive 28x. 4 times positive 5. Notice how I'm keeping the sign with the term. Positive 20. This is going to be important when negatives start getting involved. So you're going to use your arrows, and every single time you're going to think multiplication. So let's see what this looks like with an equation. So first things first, I'm going to establish where my equal sign is. I do have some distribution to do here. Again, I'm going to keep the sign with the term. This is a positive 2. I am going to distribute or multiply to the x, the first term in parentheses. What I probably should have done here is written, we're going to leave this 4x plus 3 equals. We haven't done anything with that. We haven't done anything with the x. 2 times x. This is going to be where we have our plus 2x. Then we have our 2 to our positive 7, so this is going to be plus 14. We've gotten rid of the parentheses. Getting rid of the parentheses is the very first thing you're going to do every time you see an equation. Now we're going to go to what we've been working on. Next up is combining like terms. So I'm going to look just on either side of that equal sign. I have an x. This would be a 1x. It is helpful to put the 1 in front of there. And I have a positive 2x. Together, those are going to be 3x plus 14. And we still have our 4x plus 3 on the other side that we haven't done anything with yet. Next thing, you'll notice we have a variable on both sides. The 3x is the smaller variable, so I am going to take and I am going to subtract 3x from both sides of my equation. That cancels this out here. 4x minus 3x is 1x, plus 3 is still there, equals 14. Last but not least, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and we get x is equal to 11. Okay, let's try a few more examples with some negatives and some fractions. So here we have negative 5 times x minus 2 equals negative 25. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to circle this so I remember that the negative follows with the 5. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 2. Negative 5 times negative 2. Please notice how I'm keeping the negatives with the term that follows it. Negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. That changes right there. So let's write right here as a reminder, keep negatives with the number following. That's going to be very important for your accuracy here. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I have this equation here is my equal sign. I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. Be careful right here. This is negative 25 minus 10. in your calculator you can use to help you is negative 35. So we cancel out here. We have negative 5x equals negative 35. We are almost there. I am going to divide, again, keeping that negative, keep that negative with the number by negative 5. Divide both sides by negative 5. We get x is equal to positive 7 as our answer. Okay, this is another interesting case. So right here we have 3 minus, and then in parentheses we have x minus 3 equals 25. The problem here is we don't have a coefficient. When a coefficient isn't there, I really want you to plop a 1 in there because this is a negative 1 that we are distributing through the parentheses. When the parentheses end, so does the distributing. When the parentheses end, so does the distributing. So I'm going to start off right here. My 3 is here. We haven't done anything with it yet. I am going to take this negative 1 and multiply it by x. That's going to give me negative x or negative 1x. Now my negative 1 I'm going to multiply by negative 3. So a negative times a negative, this becomes positive 3 equals 25. So let's write as a reminder here, distribute negative 1 when there is not a term in front of the parentheses. And to help you, write in a 1 right here. So again, this is a strategy to help you. Now what I'm going to do, I have my equal sign. I have some like terms. I have a 3 and another 3. So 3 plus 3 is going to be 6. This is negative x plus 6 equals 25. Sometimes like terms are just numbers. We can always combine numbers. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides of this equation. It's going to give me negative x equals 19. Now really, remember, I do have a 1 here, so we can think about this as dividing both sides by negative 1, because I don't want to know what negative x is. I want to know what positive x. If negative x is 19, then positive x is negative 19 for your answer. Last but not least, I want to go through fractions. They work the same way as any other number. So 1/4 times x is 1/4 x. 1/4 times positive 3, and you can use your calculators, positive 3/4. I'm just going to bring down my equal sign. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times positive 2 is 1. And now we have our equation. For this one, we have an x or variable on both sides of the equation. Since the 1/4 x is the smaller of the two, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to subtract 1/4 x from both sides. That's going to give me 3/4 equals 1/2 minus 1/4 is 1/4 x plus 1. Now here's where my x is. So I need to get rid of this 1. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. 3/4 minus 1 is negative 1/4. Still have my equal sign, and I have my 1/4 x here. To get x by itself, I can divide by 1/4 or multiply by 4. And in the end, I get x is equal to negative 1.